During the Second World War, Joe Havel experienced starvation during 6 years of German occupation of his native Czechoslovakia, and it taught him a lesson about providing his own food that still drives him to this day. Joe has set up an organic food forest on his home property of 2 hectares in Tapping, about 40 minutes north of Perth. In this garden near the house is a combination of tropical and Mediterranean plants. This one's the ice cream bean, and what a crop. The edible bits are the white sweet fibres that surround the seed. It's easy to grow, vigorous, and it comes from the tropics. Now this tree could easily reach 5 to 6 metres in height. That makes it a bit hard to pick the pods. That's where these milk bottles filled with water come in. Joe's tied them onto the tree branches to tug them down, and it's actually altered the shape of the tree. Now it's low and flat and ideal for harvesting. Pepino is another sweet tropical fruit related to tomato. But there's one problem. The flowers often fail to set fruit because the bees seem to ignore them. What you've just seen is Joe putting a few drops of leftover honey from his own hives into the flower to bring in the bees and improve that fruit set. Now, Joe's also cultivating bees on the property, mainly because they increase the pollination of fruit in the orchard, and that's very handy. But of course also, even on a bad year, he's harvesting a minimum of 9 litres of fresh, lovely, sweet honey. Now, one of the things about homegrown is what I call the feast or famine syndrome. So when this guava tree is in full crop, there's hundreds of fruit. Well, Joe's solution is to freeze the juice, and that means that this guava juice can be enjoyed many months after the harvest. Joe's also set up an aquaponic system where he's growing crustaceans and fish in a pond. The water from that is fed into these tanks to grow vegetables. Now there's celery, kangkong, as well as Chinese water chestnuts. Now, at 77, he's a pretty sprightly and energetic individual. Now, I put this down to the fact that he eats a tremendous amount of plant-based foods. He expends a lot of energy in creating those, and there's that inner peace that comes from working in a garden. In other words, it's a bit of a formula for a long and a happy life. Well worth having a look at.